Hey guys, Sunday, February 23rd of 2025. Let's see what the Black Widow wants to do this week. We're going to start off with our Elliott wave theory. So far, if you're new to the channel, let's catch you up to speed here. So we know that we're on a wave 4, on a wave 5, which potentially could continue going higher. You see my mind map report, we have a target of 462. That's our first target. If we kiss that and grind higher, the next possible projection wave 5 will be 561. So first, second, this green line is seasonality, and this is the inverse of what this normally does. So this is what it normally does, or typically what nat gas would do on average on seasonality. This is an inverse, and the inverse peaks around the 25th, and in the bottom you can see that it hits a bottom and then rallies. So if we're going higher, I feel like we're following maybe this one, and if we hit the 25th, maybe there could be a turn. We'll see. We're above the moving average here. Stokes are very not overbought, but on the top end, so that's pretty good. Once we get the little black box, that's when we're like very waiting for a possible turn, and you get something like this, you know, a little ABC correction down. But so far we don't have that yet. But we do have some signals saying, you know, hey, you know, maybe you could probably either lock in profits or maybe get ready to go short. But in my experience, when you get them, sometimes they work and sometimes they don't. Here, they said to go short. It did work out well. But mind you, you had the black box already indicating the Stokes were ready to turn over. We don't have that yet, so it's still pretty healthy, and the trend is up, so you cannot deny that. So let's start off with the cycle. So this cycle right here, it's already topping out, and interesting, the spectrum cycle, we already know on February the 19th just hit the peak. Now this cycle's going down. This is a little more fractal. So now this goes down to the 3rd. Let's see how this is going to play out, and then up to the 17th. We go to our bigger cycle, bigger fractal cycle. This one continues going up all the way to the 26th. So this week coming up, if it doesn't turn here, it could possibly turn on the 26th. But there's a lot of turning points all kind of lining up here. It's just kind of like a cluster of things that if it's going to turn, we have to see prices, you know, start pushing lower. First sign is that we have a gap down. So Sunday tonight when we open, there's a big gap down. I know not change of contract, but like price gap down. That could probably be the first sign that, you know, maybe things are going to start shifting. So if there's a gap down, open gap down, it'll eventually probably fill it or try to fill it, and then maybe turn and then continue. Now, if there's a gap up, maybe it may come down, fill it, and maybe continue grinding higher. It all depends on how we open today. So it's going to be interesting. I didn't place a position this weekend because I didn't know where it was going to, you know, what it was going to do. And the Black Widow surprises everyone. So there could be a, you know, if you're already short, maybe there's a gap up and you get, you know, your head chopped off. And if you're long and there's a gap down, you're going to feel some pain. So I figured I'd just wait. Let's see what the open is on Sunday night, and then I'll take it from there. So if there's gaps, see if they're going to get filled from the top down. There's a gap down, see if it's going to get filled from the top up. And then once it does these fills, and if it does it, because you never know, it might not do it, then to see the direction. I have some kind of clues that maybe if it plays out, it's going to be further in the video, but I wanted to just start out with this theory. In regards to time clusters, the 28th is a hot one. You can see the seasonality here, and then the 8th is a very hot date, so keep an eye on that. Stokes, MACD is very positive, and the oscillator, you can see a little bit of divergence. I know we pushed higher here, 447, so it's a little weaker. So I mean, too early to tell, but we'll see. Let's look at our Gann grid so far right here, the 27th, which kind of lines up with the time cluster. Get off by 1 day, you hit the midpoint here, and I'm anchoring it from the January 31st low. And so far we're here, chopping around here. There'll be support here if it comes down to 394. But if it's going to continue pushing higher, you got 484, and then you got your regular targets. That's just using the Gann grid. But the Gann grid is interesting because it's the 36 by 36 height. So I'm using just this pivot from right here and seeing where the midpoint is, and it's the 27th. Let's put our targets here. Make or break is at 490 all the way to 505, with your midpoint being 497. The ellipse technique told us last week that 19 would be an interesting volatile day, and you can see that it exploded all the way up there and then just kind of pulled back. That's where we got, well, you could say maybe the 1920 was at 447. The next one you want to watch is the 24th for a high volatility, not direction wise, but high volatility. So we'll see how that's going to play out there. Other than that, I think, the linear regression channels on a little more fractal scale are still pointing north. Once you crack below here, and you take out at least 388 around there, or even 4, maybe they could be a little turn, and maybe it could be a short turn. Because that gotta probably be, a crash. I don't know. Maybe it could be the beginning of an ABC, but if it's not, it could probably be a swing play, maybe to a downside for maybe a couple of days, and then maybe it might try to regain it and maybe test 447 again. I think that's it for this clip. Let's go to the next clip because I got so much to share, and I don't want to waste time. Okay, so this is my master chart. This is the fractal. This is the lowest fractal that I'm using due to the fact that I'm working just from the 152 low on February the 20th. We already have our 1-year anniversary. So this is our price action, and I'm watching here that October 27 high with 364, but the close is 357. So if we do come down, this could be a possible area of bouncing or support, and bulls will show up and defend that just in case it turns down. So first off, I want to show you the Gann fan, the 45, which is the 1x1. You can see that it's going right through here. And right now, that one, if we get a close anywhere between 4, you can say what, the 23rd, anything below 412, you're going to be below the Gann fan here. And there's going to be sign week. So if you have a strategy, is like, I want to go short, but I don't know where, not financial advice, but if it was, you're waiting for some weakness, you wanted to at least crack the 1x1. Somewhere around there. You can see that when it cracks it, it can still retrace, so you have to just be careful. But if there's any sign of weakness, you want to see it when it cracks the 1x1. So anywhere between 411, 412, 413. If it gets below there, you already know that you are below the 1x1. Let's see. Saw, there's a harmonic coming in around the 27th. Keep an eye on that. There's also a harmonic right here, or not a harmonic, a wave of 3-3. The Gann square. You can see there's a vector coming in around the 27, 26, 27. It's a hot day. And also, we already hit one around the 19th. And then you can see that there's a level here around 410. So yeah, 410, 411, that's your 1x1. It cracks that, you could potentially get to 390. So if you're scalping or a couple of days trade, those levels crack and there's a gap down and it bounces back up and then it goes back down, that's when you want to pounce. Just kind of giving you ideas just for scenarios. The 27th, you see there's a harmonic right there. Quarterly, you can see that it's bullish. Don't get it twisted. It is bullish. Prices are making higher highs and higher lows. We're just trying to see if maybe there's a turn here. And I've been showing you all the evidence of what I'm seeing that maybe there could be a turn, but we'll see. But so far, pretty strong quarterly, monthly. The Gann has waves. If you didn't know that Gann had waves, like Elliott waves, we're already ending one right here. So if the calculations are correct, like, you know, Elliott wave theory, your count is right here could possibly bring the turn, which is interesting because we're on a wave 5, spectrum cycle just topped right here, and the count on the wave brings you where now the cycle down could possibly happen. So that's that. So, you know, if you don't know about Gann waves, look at my YouTube video and you can look at Gann waves and you'll see instructions on how to do it and how to count it, and then you can take it from there. Weekly, get this nice pop, so everything is positive. You know, maybe fill new high. We'll see. I think that's it for this chart. Let's go into the more interesting things I'm watching here. So let's zoom in a little bit. So you can see this is the 100 and the 200 moving average. You see that we're very bullish, trending higher. Here is a cycle that I'm watching. You can see that right here. This is to even zoom in even more, because the other one I'm going to show you also kind of indicates maybe a turn down. So this is Monday, and you can see that this cycle that I'm watching hits a peak right here, and then for this week it's going down, but it bottoms out somewhere around the 7th of March, pretty much the first week of March. So that cycle I'm watching goes down. The next one is this one. You can see that for this week it goes down but kind of stalls at the beginning of, or you can say the, what is that, Friday's the 28th, and then it kind of goes sideways and then it kind of rallies. So it goes a little bit against this one, but for just this week it looks like it's pointing down just this week alone, and then it kind of gets mixed up here. Continue going down, or maybe a rally. Maybe it could be a rally. Who knows? And then the last one that I want to show you is this one peaks. You could say this Monday it peaks, and then it starts stepping down. It kind of goes sideways, but then it really goes down all the way further down. So, but I'm just focusing on this week. So I got all the, well, let's look at the sun. Solar takes you where from here we peak, and starting Monday we're down all the way to Tuesday. So maybe I don't know what will be the scenario for the open, but whatever it is, we just start going down. Let's say we crack the 410, 411, $4, and then by Tuesday, be careful, because then maybe it could rally. So these are all the scenarios that I'm using on these cycles. You pick your pill. I'm kind of leaning down, but you know, just be cautious, because maybe on the 25th it could turn, depending on the speed, if it does go down. So this is the first scenario here. In regards to the Bradley model, we have a turning point here, and what's interesting about the Bradley model is that it, direction wise, it goes up and then it peaks somewhere around the 23rd. So can we continue going higher? Maybe wave 5 is way up around $5, around there. We'll see. Or could it turn and do an inverse into March the 23rd? We'll see. I think that's it for this clip. Let's go to the last, well, 2 more and then we'll end it. Okay, this is the bigger fractal that I'm using, the August 23rd high, February 20 low. And the first thing here is the center of gravity, which I call COG. Prices like to retrace and back and test the center of gravity. Our center of gravity using these swing points is going to be 562 and change. So we know that the weekly spectrum cycle peaks as of right now around November. Could it be that maybe we grind higher and test 562? So if we ever get to this midpoint right here, that's when we need to assess and see, okay, did they want it to go all the way up here, then to go back down, or from here, test, go sideways and continue pushing higher. But prices like to be pulled in to the center of gravity, as Gann will say it. So this is your center of gravity. So if you wanted to look at a bigger, you know, time frame target, this would be one that I will include and keep in your notes. You got a channel here. From here, you can see that we're kind of having a tough time here. If we pull back, this channel will be here, good support. And I did extensions to see how high is it going to go if we break up higher. Using the ellipse technique, I'm anchoring now to the 425 swing low due to the fact that this was still consolidation, but we know our low was February 20, 152. But from here, this is where the momentum started. So I'm anchoring there. And that leads me all the way to, you could say, maybe the first week of March for some kind of interesting either swing pivot, high volatility movements, or, it could be nothing. But so far, I'm tracking that also with the ellipse technique, pretty much what geometry is. And using these advanced resistance support, you can see that 429 is a key level to watch, and also 699. Lastly, using harmonics from the pivot, important pivots, you can see that we're hitting a harmonic right here. And what date is that? February the 19th. Same thing as the spectrum cycle daily pivot high. So let's see if something is interesting happening right now. Let's see, support, pivot lows, keep an eye out for 495 and keep an eye out for 357. So we go down, that could be support. If we go higher, that could be resistance. And percentages from the low of 152. As of right now, we're hovering around 171.84%. Now I'll go for the good stuff. Let's see. I wanted to zoom in a little bit here. Let's zoom in here. Even more. Yeah, maybe even more. Okay, maybe that was too much. Too much. Ooh, a little more. So I'm focusing on this week only, and I ran spectrum cycle from, the dates I already showed you, and you can see there's a lot of lines, but these are all the important ones. I made a composite of it. And so far, the model is showing price action going down all the way to, you could say, the Thursday, the 27th, which could be maybe the EIA report, and then it bounces. Maybe something good happens. I don't know, but Thursday is going to be a hot day using this model with the spectrum cycle, picking all the important ones and then making a composite. So the bias is, I'm not saying, that it's the holy grail, but so far the model is saying, yeah, this is going to be a down week and could possibly find support and turn on Thursday. So keep an eye on that. And once this week is ended, then we'll assess and look at next week, because things could change with the model. I also did the spectrum cycle and ran neural net. Now this is more the computer, and the computer is also indicating, yeah, there's going to be a turning point, and we're going to go down all for next week and continue going lower all the way to the 14th. So let's see if this is going to play out. And lastly, if we zoom out just a little bit, the Bradley model just picked the high or turning point, the 18th. We made the 20, so it pushed a little higher. And then from here, the last one is going to be 3.6, and then all the way to 4.9. We know April is supposedly when night gas is pretty strong. All right, let's go to the last clip, and then we end it there. Okay, so this is the last clip. This is the bigger picture. We got a vector kicking in on the 26th. So you see there's a strong level here at 420. So I want to see what's going to happen. We're going to get some pressure to the downside. You have a nice target at 351. But keep an eye on for the vector, which is kicking in. This is big time frame. When I talk about big time frame, I'm talking about, you can say, take this out. It's pretty much from this pivot to this pivot high using the, yeah, you could use the 144 low. The 1002 high gives us this area that you want to keep an eye on, which is a vector coming in. This is the 1.6 vector. So let's see how that's going to play out. Let's get that out of there. And lastly, our natural cycles, and we'll end this video and then see what happens on the Sunday night open and then take it from there. Let's close this real quick and let's get our natural cycles. And let's look at some of this stuff here. Let's hide this. Let's take this. Let's take one step at a time. Our annual cycle, you can see that bottom somewhere around here, 321. So it's still kind of sideways to lower. That's our annual cycle, and you can see that nat gas is still pushing higher. Fast annual, that's 3 years worth of data. It's kind of a little bit lining up with what was going on here. And for some reason, on the first week, we kind of stall. This is 6 years worth of data. Still same thing, kind of upward bias. You can see into the first week of March with the 3 and the 6. The annual continues even pushing lower, and then the annual and the decimal kind of lining up where we're at right now. This is 10-year and 1 year combined together. So interesting. Peaks around the 24th. So we got to see which one is going to play out. If we look at 10 years ago, you can see that somewhere around the 24th, we get this big drop. So this kind of lines up with all the cycles I've been showing you. And then it drops to the Wednesday, and then it rallies. So it's like a head fake. So be careful if that plays out. And then lastly, looking at 20 years ago, you still get this pullback. And this one goes all the way to Friday. And then this big rally to the upside. So for this week, if I was to place a bet, I bet maybe we go lower, but it all depends on the open. So that's why I didn't want to have a position Friday. So now let's get this out so we can kind of get an idea. So my bet is that even if there's a gap up or whatever price action opens, that we're probably going to have a down week. And somewhere maybe between Wednesday and Thursday could possibly have a turning point or stall there. But Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, kind of down to sideways from Thursday or Wednesday to Thursday. But if this doesn't play out and there's a gap open higher, if it gaps up, I believe that maybe it might go down to fill it. And then the question is, does it go down to fill it and then continue, or then from there rip and continue going higher? If there's a gap down, in regards to price action, same thing. Maybe go fill it up. Or maybe there is no gap, and then once the change of contract kicks in, everything will adjust. Keeping in mind where large speculators are shorting or unwinding, commercial are hedging, spectrum cycle just hit a peak on the 19th. We're on a wave 5. And then all the techniques that I'm watching, so it all depends on what your strategy is. Whether you are bull bear, you want to still go long, buy the dips, then go ahead, because there's a lot of evidence showing that it could probably continue going higher. But if you want to, catch a little swing, maybe a couple of days down, there's a lot of indication also that it's going to lean that way also. So it all depends on price. Price is king. You start seeing, lower highs and lower lows. Chances are, especially within the hour, the 4-hour chart, or the 5-minute, chances are that maybe this could probably play out to the downside. But I am waiting for us to crack the 1 by 1 in order, or see some kind of weakness, or maybe take out 415, because it's kind of tricky or risky to short from here when, the buys are still to the upside. So we're not trying to pick a top, but we're trying to see maybe the turning point is here. And there's some of the techniques I use that it could probably be here, but price action has to confirm it. So if you're a conservative, wait for the official reversal to kick in, and then any pop, that's when you want to short. If you're conservative, if you're aggressive and hard, then maybe when the open happens, whatever the price action did at the open, assess what your plan is, and then jump in and bet that or assume that it's going to go down. So that's where I'm at on my strategy for this week. It's all rule based. So we first have to crack some key levels, and I want to see volume to the downside so I could jump in and maybe ride it for 2 or 3 days, or maybe for this whole week. It all depends where is it going to find support and how fast it goes lower. I'm going to sign out. Hope you like this video, and I'll keep you posted on my thoughts on that, guys.